Hello again, and welcome to Winning with the Wrangler at Dick Powell's Leadership Corner, brought to you by Earth, Wind, Fire, Water Training and Development, where our passion is building leaders of today and tomorrow. Leaders, the information on today's program was gathered from many different places and many different people. And if you hear yourself in our conversation today, please remember, this is not all about you. Today we're going to look at some things I have found to be true statements. And as leaders, these are things that we can put into the people around us as well as ourselves. Now, I believe in these so much that I've used them for a number of years as I've taught things around the country on leadership and accountability. But the first one I want to share with you is this. You need to see yourself as a winner because you are one. You see, when we see ourselves that way, it starts to manifest from the inside out. And it's amazing what other people see. When you truly believe in it, that you are a winner, that you have accomplished, that you will accomplish, that you will do more, you will do what you set your mind to, that you have a vision, you know your mission, and you're putting the plan together every single day. You see, that's a winner. And you, my friend, are one. But you've got to believe it viscerally, inside and out. Because that's what makes the positive attraction come to you. The second one is a little bit almost the same. Because it is true, what we believe in ourselves does become true. So what we believe in ourselves is true. Here's the thing. Our minds really don't know whether it's a positive or negative being put in there. But it wants to do something with whatever we put into our minds. It wants to manifest it, and it wants to put it into place. You know, it's funny. Think about it this way. What we believe in ourselves is true. Have you ever bought a new car or even an older one, and all of a sudden as you're driving down the road, you see more and more of those same ones, even the same color? It's because we're believing in ourselves that what we have done is correct. You see how that starts to work. And we need to input that every single day. You see, when you believe in yourself, others will too. This next one's a little more difficult, and it's a little bit harder to put into place and maybe even harder for me to put into words. But here it is. How we treat others is how they will treat us. Or how we treat others is how they will treat you. Now, this doesn't happen every single time, but for the most part, it does. You see, when we're kind and courteous and also respectful of others, we get that in return. But when we're snarky, when we're a little bit degrading, when maybe even told a story or two, that's exactly what's going to come back. Because what you send out does come back. And if you don't believe that, well, I'm sorry, it's true. This next one is called self-talk. Now, I know that many of us, when we're alone and a little man in our head starts to speak, some of us, and I'm going to encourage you to, have learned how to shut that person off by placing instead some self-talk that determines our self-walk. You see, I really am a great person. I really can do good. I really can help other people. I will achieve my goals. You see, that self-talk is very positive versus the other things that sometimes that little man in our heads likes to say things. One of the things that we really try to put into place is to remove certain words out of our discussion. We're working with our granddaughter right now on those same things because she hears them at school and she hears them other places. You see the C word, can't. We don't believe in that because it's a negative word. Impossible. Well, we believe everything's possible. I won't. You know, I won't is just a decision not to do something. But if you change it to I will, I can, I did, I have, make the positive pieces, that self-talk will often determine your self-walk. When we place positive pieces into our lives and to in other people's lives, you'll see them stand taller and walk taller. You'll also see those same positive things come out of them and pass them on to someone else. It just really is a true statement. Now, I have to tell you, this next one kind of was a hard thing for me to learn. What we value determines our self-worth. You see, when someone would ask me, Dick, what are you worth? I would try to give them a dollar sign. But as I really put more time into it and started to learn a little more, and I understood what value meant, I understood the value that I placed in relationships, the value I placed in my wife and children, the value I placed in helping other people, the value I placed in my day-to-day job. It was more than just a dollar sign. And I struggled with it for a long time because I grew up in a house where everything was based on dollars and cents, mostly cents. So the value, what's your value? You first have to value yourself, my friends. And this is something we can pass on to others. This is something as leaders we can encourage and install in others, is value in self, value in what we offer to others, and value in bigger things than money. You see, relationships oftentimes last longer than money. And that, my friends, is what it's all about. There was a time when I was going through some situations and I was working with a person and they were teaching me how to visualize. And they said over and over, is what we visualize, we will make real. Now, as a professional speaker, I have learned over and over that there are times when I need to just sit and be quiet and visualize what's going to happen next. Walking up on stage, being introduced, starting my speech, and I see the people out in the crowd. I see their smiling faces. I see them clapping. I see them getting excited and getting involved. And I play out the entire piece all the way to the end. My whole speech, my every word, I play and I visualize how I'm going to say it and the actions I'm going to take. When we visualize it, we will make it real because it becomes real in our subconscious. And you will find a difference in yourself, and the people around you will find a difference. Just try this one little piece. I encourage you to do it. If you need to make a presentation, you're going to meet someone new, take a few quiet moments. Shut your eyes. See the entire place. Watch yourself walk into the location, be greeted, shake hands, whatever it is. See the whole thing through. And then turn on some great music and get in there and get her done. You'll be surprised how this makes a difference. I'm going to encourage you to listen to this next one. Building trust in our decisions and choices will move you to the next level. The deal about building trust in yourself to make those decisions and choices sometimes means, well, maybe you didn't make the best decision or the best choices. And if not, you need to ask a couple of questions. What did I learn from that? And what will I do different next time? But learning to trust your instincts, your gut feelings, to make decisions and choices really depends on really doing your homework and getting prepared and staying on top of things. Both reading and going to seminars or whatever you're going to do, getting a mentor, having a coach, it really means being ready to make that decision when it comes about. This is going to be a bigger opportunity for you than anything else in your life, because everything we do is made up from choices and decisions. Now, I won't tell you that I've made perfect decisions or choices in my whole life. At this age and stage, I can tell you I definitely have not. Fortunately, I've listened to some of those ones I didn't do quite well on, and I learned from them. I learned that trust in making my decisions oftentimes came from taking those small risks. The small risk in life and the small risk in business, the small risk in personal relationships, the small risk, and taking those small risks, I learned how to make great decisions and great choices. If you're struggling with it, please seek someone out. Seek out a coach that can help you take that and jump into that next section by learning how to do that, by taking those small risks. Won't be easy at first, but I'll tell you, it'll be worth the paddle. The next one is building a healthy body, mind, and spirit. And if you do this, or I say when you do this, when you build a healthy body, mind, and spirit, you will be able to sustain the hardships of life. Because stuff happens. Building a healthy body just makes sense. We only get one, and we need to learn how to take care of it. You see, simple exercise is a good thing. And if you're like me, who spends a lot of time at his desk writing, I've got to get up once an hour and I go for a walk. I take and work out. I ride my bicycle. I go on hikes. I take and go kayaking. You got to stay busy and take care of your health. The other part of that, of course, is eating correctly, which, man, oh man, that's a tough one nowadays when we are also busy. Slow down. There's not a meal in the world that can't be made, good meal, all courses covered, that Miss Robin and I haven't discovered we can do in 30 minutes or less. Does it take a little prep time? Sure. Does it take a little planning? Yes. Do you need to go to the grocery store or wherever you buy your goods and really think about and make a list? Yes. So being a healthy body does take time. Now your mind is a different storage, but putting good things in, because I'm sure you've heard of things they talk about the computer, garbage in, garbage out. It's the exact same thing with your mind. So I would ask, what are you reading today? If you tell me you're not reading anything, I'm be a little disappointed, because leaders are readers. When we take care of our mind, we stimulate that piece. But when we take care of our mind and we take care of our body, we start to use both sides of our brain. And when that happens, we get to have more experiences as well as sharing knowledge. Now, building a healthy spirit, that's something that you need to decide on your own. For me, I do spend a lot of time in contemplation. And I spend time reading. And I spend time going to different seminars and things to re-energize my spirit. Because I have learned at this age and stage that it really does mean something. Even in my younger years, I knew there was something larger and bigger than I was. I didn't understand it, and I'm not going to tell you I totally understand it now. But what I have learned over and over, that is building a healthy body, mind, and spirit, has always sustained me through the hardships of life. Miss Robin and I haven't had a perfect life, and I'm sure most of you out there haven't either. So understand how these things work. If your mind is healthy, you can move through most anything. If your body's healthy, that's even better. But your spirit, if it's healthy, it'll sustain the other two. Just saying, it's truth. Self-discipline. Self-discipline is the key to longevity. Now, I'm not saying longevity as far as earth years. Now, some people can put time in there, and I also will say longevity does have to do with earth years, but it really means about what is my purpose and my calling? Am I doing it? Am I practicing what I preach? Am I walking my talk? Am I disciplined to do what I know needs done every single day? Not only to move myself ahead, my family ahead, my occupation, but those around me. Am I disciplined in what I have said I'm going to do? Well, habits. When you're disciplined, it becomes, you make some habits. Hopefully they're good habits, and they will take and let you look at your what? Your plan. And those habits work into that plan. The plan works into your mission so you can live it, and that'll send you forward to achieve your vision. It's just really as simple as that. But being disciplined takes time, and it takes a will and intentionality. Those are something that seem to be harder in life today, but I know that each one of you can do that, and you can pass that on to someone around you. When they say, hey, how come you're a success and I'm not? You might want to start with, I've become disciplined. See, it will make a difference. Practice, practice, practice. Ingrain in yourself personal accountability and personal leadership. It must be intentional. You must look at and answer to things that you have done. You see, being accountable means that if you mess up, you own it. You take ownership of it, and you do something about it. You don't try to put it on someone else or blame it on somebody else or any of those kind of things. If you were in my office today, you'd look up the top of my office here and you would say, accountability starts with me. That has been a big poster on top of my wall for many, many years. It started out when I was a director of education, and people would come into my office and they would moan about this person. They'd moan about that person. They would something else. And I would point to the wall. Accountability starts here. You see, each one of us must be accountable for the choices and decisions we make, both good and bad. And that leads us to this personal leadership. You see, to lead others, we first must learn to lead ourselves. And I'll tell you something of a secret. Learning to lead yourself really will require you to be self-disciplined. To know what you will and will not do, what your values are, what your morals are, all those type of things. Be self-disciplined in them. It'll really push you to be a leader for yourself, to keep your healthy mind, body, and spirit. To be a leader for yourself, it'll really push you to build trust in your decisions and your choices. You see, that's how it really is. Oftentimes I run into people and they tell me they're a leader of something or a leader of that, and I ask them some questions, and I realize really quickly they haven't learned to lead themselves because they're not disciplined. They don't have a vision, and they don't have a mission, or they don't understand their mission. This next piece goes right in beside that or inside it. You see, to be a leader and learn how to lead yourself, you must have character. So follow through defines your character. Do you follow through? Do you do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it? When you take on a new piece, do you get it done? Is your handshake your bond? Is what you say what you do? Do you walk the talk, or do you walk away? Oftentimes I heard it said that character is what happens when no one's watching. Doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Again, that builds right into that leadership piece, doesn't it? Which takes us right to the accountability piece. You see, you can't be a great leader, you can't lead yourself if you're not accountable. And that's all about building character. Now, that doesn't happen overnight, and it can be destroyed very quickly. So you always must be intentional about where you're at and what you're doing and who you're doing it with. You see, always someone is going to be watching. And I don't say that lightly. I say it because it's true. You see, we're all leaders of something. Some better, some not so good, some could be better, some need to learn something, but we all are leaders. Someone's always watching you and trying to say, do I want to emulate that person? Do I want to follow them? Do I want to do it that way or not? And believe it or not, someone's watching them. And they're asking that same questions. Where are they getting their information? How's it really coming about? Follow through will define your character. Practicing appreciation for others as well as yourself is a must. You know, it's pretty simple to say to your significant other, I really appreciate you, what you do here. I tell Miss Robin that all the time because I just know that she takes and keeps my clothes clean. She makes my meals and all those things that, really make a house a home. And I appreciate it because I'll tell you what, I couldn't do it by myself. I appreciate the people I work with on this program who know how to make all these little machines work around here and how to get my script going and all those different pieces. Because that's, but it's not just a job for them. I appreciate what they do. And here's the thing. I'm going to tell you what. It is true of fact. When you appreciate others, you'll find people appreciating you. Because you're going to do things without even thinking about it for other people. You're going to do them because it's the right thing to do, but it's just going to be a part of who you are. I'll tell you where it comes from, though. It comes from being disciplined. When I was growing up, I really didn't like that word. I grew up in a household that was pretty physical, and discipline meant something entirely different than what we've talked about today. Discipline here is having a list of things that you knew and you know what to do that will push you ahead in everything. We call them our daily 5 here at Earth, Wind, Fire, Water Training Development when we work with people. If you are struggling with that, please give us a call. Work with us. Let us help you help yourself get to where you want to go. That's our mission in life. But practice appreciation. Somebody holds the door open. Just say thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. It's pretty simple, actually. This last one, though, and it's really not the last one, it's just where we're at today. Leaders, I'm going to encourage you to really start defining, really defining your strengths and your weaknesses. You see, when we do that, it makes our journey to success so much sweeter. when you find out and know and really admit to your weaknesses, and you seek out people to gather around you to fill in those gaps, guess what happens? They very well might be seeking you out to fill in their gaps. And now, 1 plus 1 makes 3. So now you're working together and making something new. How fantastic is that? My strength, of course, is speaking on stage or telling a story. But I'll tell you what, it takes more than just doing that. Someone needs to write down all those words. Well, I'm going to tell you what, someone needs to take my words and correct them so they're spelled correctly and have commas and whatever else in them that needs to be there before we ever send them out. My wife, Miss Robin, when she looks at some of my speeches, she says, just hand it over. I'll give it back and we'll talk about it. and all these years later, I realize that that's not my strength, but it's hers. You see, being able to really define what your strengths are is going to be really important. Now, if you're a little younger than I am and you're out job hunting and you're job searching, knowing exactly what your strengths are is going to be a big plus. Not only to you, but whoever would be looking to hire you. It's funny nowadays, when I go out and talk to people, I don't really look for a job or an opportunity. They just seem to kind of come. But I'm in a totally different place than you are right now. And that's the whole different piece. Now, as I go back over these just kind of lightly, we call them the 13 truths. You can call them whatever you want, but these are true statements that will help you, help yourself get to where you want to go. But I'm going to also tell you, help those others around you, pass these on to people. Number 1, see yourself as a winner, and you are one. It's a fact. What we believe in ourselves is true. What you put in, what you get out. Number 3, how we treat others is how they will treat you. Now that was almost 100%, by the way. Number 4, our self-talk determines our self-walk. What you put in really will have a difference on how you see and do. Number 5, what we place value on determines our self-worth. Number 6, what we visualize, we will make real. Number 7, building trust in our decisions and choices moves you to the next level. Building a healthy body, mind, and spirit will sustain you through the hardships. Number 9, self-discipline is the key to longevity. Number 10, practicing personal accountability and personal leadership will be intentional daily. Number 11, follow through defines our character. Number 12, practicing appreciation for others as well as self is a must. And number 13, defining our strengths and weaknesses will make our journey a success. I see our time is coming to a close, and on behalf of myself, Dick Powell, and the whole Leadership Corner team, we want to say thank you for being a part of today's program. Now, our hope is that you've gained a nugget of wisdom and guidance that will help you become a better leader. If you have any suggestions or comments or one thing on the program today, don't hesitate. Give us a call. 727-422-1833. 727-422-1833. Send us an email, dick@ewfw.org. Go to the website, take a look around, and see what we're doing. You can send me a message from there, www.ewfw.org. And when you know that you're ready to have Dick Powell, the Leadership Wrangler, come and do a leadership seminar at your location for your people, give us a call and get on our calendar real quick, because we fill up all the time. And until next time, DW the Wrangler saying, ride hard, ride fast.